Hi, welcome to Guitar Geekorama. This is Ian on the guitar today and Dave behind the cameras. This little series is for absolute beginners on guitar. We're thinking about if you've just picked up your guitar and taken it out of the box and unpacked it and you're like, how does this thing work? There's a couple of exercises you can do straight away to get your fingers moving on the instrument, maybe even before you figured out how to tune the thing. If you do buy your guitar from a guitar shop, which is kind of what I would recommend because hopefully they'll give you something that's set up properly and works okay, ask them to tune it for you. It's a lot easier to tune a guitar if it's pretty close to being in tune, and you can keep it in tune that way. But let's assume that you're not sure how to tune the guitar. There is a little video here and hopefully there'll be a link coming up on the screen. You can follow that through and that will talk you through how to tune the guitar up. But we've got your guitar as in tune as it can be and you don't know how this thing works at all. So let's have a quick look and see if there's a couple of exercises we can do on the guitar to get you playing straight away. Okay, we're going to take a little look at the right hand here. Most people play with a guitar pick. It doesn't matter which one you use. I like these ones, which are quite thick. They're about 1 milli, but whichever one feels comfortable in your hand, that's fine. You want to be holding this guitar, this pick, much like it's a pencil. Yeah, so there's the pick in my hand. It's quite a big thing, you can see, but most of it sits under the thumb and the tip of the pick sticks out, the little pointy end of it. And what we want to be able to do is almost imagine like you were going to write your name on the guitar. Don't do that, but yeah, you want to use it almost like a pencil. You don't need to grip it super tight. You want to actually keep it quite loose and think of it like a pen or a pencil, as in, as you're using it, you'll make constant little adjustments to your grip to make sure that it will stay in the right place. Okay, this is the first little exercise I want you to have a try at. We're just going to brush the strings like this. So you're just going to let the pick brush over the strings. Now I'm not playing particularly hard, I'm just getting used to the idea of the pick moving across the strings. Now that sound straight away won't be particularly great. So what we're going to do is with the left hand, I'm going to rest my fingers very lightly on the strings. I'm not pushing down. You'll get quite a strange sound if you do that. Just rest your fingers super light across all the strings. It will give you this kind of sound. It's kind of like a click sound, I suppose, or a brushing sound. I'm just going to try this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get comfortable with that, see if you can do it the other way. That's a little bit harder at first, going from the skinny strings down to the thick strings. And then we'll try and do it in both directions. So we're going to go down, up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the best thing to do for this exercise is to run it with a metronome or a backing track of some description, and that will give you a pulse to play along with and just to stay in time and see if you can keep that movement going. Let's give that a try now. Okay, so we're looking at a little exercise you can use with your strumming patterns here. We're resting the left hand across the strings, keeping them muted, and the right hand is brushing the strings like that. I'm using a little app here on my phone. I believe it was free, and it's basically set up to click at 90 beats per minute, which sounds like this. Let me turn that up a little. So when you hear that ticking like a ticking clock, this is a really good exercise you can do. First of all, so I'm just brushing the strings in time with the clicking. I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If this is a little difficult, you could always slow it down and just get to a point where it's nice and relaxed and quite easy to strum in time with what you're listening to. When you get comfortable with that, you can try this. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, 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 down, up. And the point of that exercise is very much to keep that the down stroke in time with the click and the up stroke in between the click. You can try that at all kinds of tempos. Nice easy one. Guitar doesn't even have to be in tune, and you can straight away get some very useful skills from that. Let's look at a second exercise you can do straight away, whether the guitar's in tune or not, just to get your fingers working. Okay, so here's a close-up look at a little exercise you can do on your guitar neck, whether the guitar's in tune or not. You're going to put your first finger on the first fret of the thickest string, that's the one nearest to you, and then you're going to pick it with your right hand. What you should be aiming for is a nice clear note. Doesn't matter if it sounds the same as this one, but what you want to avoid is, you don't want this buzzing sound, or you don't want that kind of sound. You don't want to miss the note. The right place to put your finger is just behind the fret wire here, so that you almost pinch the string against the neck. And I'm using my thumb behind, my thumb's down here, holding that in place, and I should get a nice clear sound. Once you get used to that, this second finger is going to go onto this second fret. Third finger, third fret. And this might take a while to get each note to sound good, and if you can manage it, your little finger, fourth finger on the fourth fret there. So when we're talking about fingers, we'll always talk about obviously thumb, first, second, third, fourth. Yeah, so that's your index, middle, ring finger, and your little finger or pinky. So let's just try that. And there's two things you can do with the picking hand. You could just strum down on each note until you're comfortable with that, and then eventually you could be picking down, up, down, up. Once you get comfortable on that string, move to the next string, and it's the same pattern. Etc. And you can go up all the way through the strings with that. Now what I've got here is the metronome, again set to 90 beats per minute, and I'm going to turn this into an exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I get to the top, I should turn around. Maybe I can move up a fret even and go back this way. 2, 3, 4. So what I'm aiming for with this exercise, it's not a very musical sounding exercise, but what it is doing is it's training my fingers to coordinate themselves. So my right hand is coordinated with my left hand, and I can feel that when I'm picking down with this right hand, the left hand is also grabbing the note at the right place. I'm not trying to go fast here. I'm not trying to put it into any kind of phrase. What I'm trying to do is just build up strength and communication between the two hands. Once you get comfortable with this exercise, obviously you can start to increase the tempo of it, but for the most part, for beginners, it's just a really good exercise to make your fingers communicate. So that's the first thing that we want to start working on. That's a lot to remember. All right, I got it.
Okay, right. In this order, check out our links below: Guitar Gear Pro Armor, Eldritch Guitars. Like and follow our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook. Yeah? Good. Do you want me to write it?